Hello everyone, welcome back to Car Project Trail videos. In today's video we'll be continuing on with our drawings. In today's video we'll be creating the bracket drawing. So as shown on your packet, also I believe it's placed on the M drive. This is the drawing we're going to try to replicate. Right, so just like we've been doing so far, we're going to create the drawing that's in your packet. So pretty straightforward, right? We have our three views. I have an isometric view that's a different scale, right? So these three main views are scale 1 to 1. This one is probably 0.5 to 1. We also have a note that helps whoever's fabricating this part, in this case it would be you, to know how to position this in the vise. So let me just move this to my other screen, and I have the part file open, and the reason is because I want to make sure that if I go to file properties, I have my description and my summary filled in, and the reason is because actually the template, as has been doing so far, is pulling those values in text expressions from the actual part file. So we want to make sure it's filled in, so that will be auto-populated on the actual drawing template. So let's go ahead and start file new. I can advance. So again, I can go to my templates, MCC ENR drawing, right? If I go to file options and I add the location of my template, just like it was shown on the my template video, it will actually show up as one of the tabs. So click OK. So right now it says open documents is the bracket, right? Because if I go to my SolidWorks, I have my bracket and my new drawing open. So if I don't have anything open, I can just hit browse. I can go in and pull in that model that I want to create the drawing from. In this case, I already have it here. So I can go to my view palette, and if some case, if it's not selected, I can just select, right? And that's, it knows my, I can select, let me select bracket because I pulled in that part file. So let's start with, we can start with actually I don't want to start with the top. Okay, let's go back. If I do, just trying to figure out what's the best way to go about this. If I do my right, and I can do my top. If I actually want it to exactly match my drawing, right, then I really want this in a different orientation. So I can go about this. Let me just delete this, right? So I have this view, and what I want to do is I want to go to projected view. I want to pull in that top. Right, if I go, right, so let me do that again. Let me just delete this view. Let's say this is my center. If I go to, either I click on it once, and I can projected view is an option now, or if I could just go to my view layout, projected view. So if I select it, projected view, if I go to the top, right, this is the view that I actually utilize in my drawing. Let's go ahead and look at all the different views I can pull in, right? It's projected off of this view. So in this case, we actually use this view. And then from this view, well, right now these views are linked, right? Because we projected this view off of this view. Let's say for some reason, right, if I move this to the left or right, they're linked by the center of the view. So let's say I want to unlink them. So if I click this one, if I left click on this one, then right click, and I click on alignment, I can break that alignment. Right now, I'm free to move this. Again, if I wanted to show in the same state or style, I don't want it to duplicate the parent style. I actually want that hidden line visible, because that's how my drawing shows it. And then I want to pull in a projected view. So now we're going to do it this way, right? Using the shortcut. Okay. So I have three views that are, these two are linked, right? Because this is projected off of this one, but these are not. So I want to make sure they're centered. So let's select this one, hold the control key, select this one, go to alignment. I can do, let's do align vertical by center. Oh, I believe I started with this one, so select this one. Now if I move this one, right? If I move this one left and right, this one moves with it. If I move this up and down, this one does not, because this one is linked to this one. So let's add an isometric view in this case. And while I have it selected, I'm just gonna use custom scale. If I do 1 to 2, in this case, I'm gonna place this somewhere up here in the corner. I also noticed that my description is overhanging by a bit. So what I'm gonna do, since the file name is short, let's right click, go to edit sheet format. I'm gonna move this line here. Let's slide down my description a bit. Click OK. Let's go back. Oops. Okay, perfect. Let's start adding the dimensions. Again, just like we're replicating the drawing in your packet. If I go to Smart Dimension, I can add this dimension. I can also add this dimension. Add this dimension. Again, I'm basically just replicating, right, your the drawing and your drawing packet at this point. Let's see what else we have. I noticed that this dimension has shows that it's in 2 places. So if I go to my dimension text, I can just add a note after times 2, right? So it's in 2 different places. Let's see what else we got. We have this dimension. And I'm gonna just toggle my dual dimension, right? Because I want to show it in millimeters too. So I can do that by toggling dual dimension, and I can choose decimal points. 2 decimal points is what we utilize in the drawing for the packet. Right, same as nominal. What I also want to add is this dimension. Again, going back to my dimension text, just want to point out that it's in 2 different places. And then you can clean this up a bit. Right? We don't want it to don't have too much empty space. Just come over here. I just want to add my overall dimension for the bracket. So again, 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch. Let me move this a bit. And again, this is more of a preference thing, right? How much space you want. You just want to make sure it's whoever is reading this or using this drawing to create this part has all the info, and it's shown in a neatly manner. Again, just adding the thickness, 1/8 of an inch. Last thing I have is the top. In this case, I want to add some center marks. Center marks is toggled on. Let's do these, right? We want them at the slot end and not at the center. Do the same thing here. And we can go in and change those, but I usually just use the document defaults. Okay. And again, we're just replicating the part that's shown in your template. So 0.53, 0.563, I want to add times 2, add space 2. And let's do the slot overall width, 0.170. And we can, right, at any point, we can move this around. Some more dimensions. So I have this dimension shown on my drawing. Again, we could have utilized right ordinate dimensions. We could have had this as my 0 edge, and this would have been 0.18, and this would have been 1.47. But since we don't have a lot of dimensions, we can actually just utilize smart dimensions to dimension it the way we want. I also want the overall, or actually and again, I'm just going to move this up a bit, move this down a tiny bit just to clean it up. Drag this down. Oh, seems like these two broke the alignment, right? So I'm going to add an alignment between these two. And it's going to be horizontal by center. Right now, if I move this, both of them move. There's a horizontal relation between the two centers of these views. Again, just following the template on your packet. In your packet, let's see what else I'm missing. So I have this dimension that I know my distance. Go to smart dimension. It's going to add the radius. And I want to add a note that it's in 4 places. I believe this is it, right? So I'm just going to go back and double check. As in, so far as my dimensions go, I believe we have everything covered. I just double check in, compare everything to your template, right? To your bracket drawing in your packet. what I'm doing right now. So I have these 3 dimensions. This one, I have my 2 inches, 0.614. These whole dimensions, right? This is 2 different places. This showing the dual dimension. I have my overall dimensions for the bracket, length, width, and thickness. I also have the dimensions to locate the slots. And I have the radius. It's telling me it's in 4 different places. So let's add a note that tells me that this view, let's call it view 2, top, again, just copying or replicating your drawing. I'm just gonna, so I have my view 2, top, and this can be somewhere, anywhere here, right? Or it can be here if you try to replicate it exactly. I'm gonna add another note. I'm gonna place it right here. I'm gonna call this view 1, and in parentheses, that's my front. Again, so the only thing left is adding the overall note. If I go to note up here, it's gonna add the note of views 1, which is the front, and keep it all in uppercase, and 2, which is the top, are shown as part appears in vice. And when I click away, right, it lets me actually attach the note to any edge or point. But since I only want it shown in one place, I can just hit the escape key, and that just leaves it off wherever I placed it first again, or I can move it and add a leader or connect it to something. But for this case, right, we're just gonna keep it like this. Let's do a zoom to extent. And I believe we're all set with this file drawing. So I can go to File, Save As, and save it as bracket drawing. Drawings 2, bracket. I already have it made, so I won't save it. But this is the bracket drawing. And once you're done, you can go to File, Publish to eDrawings. And what that does is generate an eDrawing to communicate that with whoever or whomever doesn't have SolidWorks. eDrawing is a free to download software through SolidWorks. You can go to File, once you have it generated, Save As, and save it with your card drawings. So I already have that done, so I'm just going to hit Cancel, and we're all set. Thanks for watching.